All right. So, hey, I want to welcome you to a new term here at SNU. My name is Drian Glide. I'm going to be your facilitator for your course, OL421, Strategic Management Policy, this term. I just put together this video to just kind of address a few things. This class is a unique experience and an exciting one. And brings out a range of realizations and emotions and things. And I definitely want to kind of go through some of the journey with you guys a little bit, kind of talk about it. I'm not going to talk about myself too much. There's a biography in the classroom if you want to learn more about me. Bottom line, I'm a family guy, very invested in my students, have taught online a lot. Have a very broad business background. So that's all I'll say on that subject. Of course, you got my ugly mug up here. If you ever want to know who you're talking to when you call me on the phone or anything like that. In any case, OL421 is a drastically different experience in a good way than other courses that you may have taken here at SNU. The overarching goal of the course is different. And that's one reason why, I feel it's important to kind of share some of what this experience is meant to be like, what it is like, to kind of help you along your journey this term. So obviously I say different how really, right? There's still grades, there's still discussion boards, there's, two projects and an exam. So how different can it really be? It's really very, very different. It's simulation based, as many of you have already noticed and registered for CAPSIM and gotten rolling on all of that. The course is designed around the simulation. This particular class is really focused on your ability to integrate things that you have learned in other classes, life skills that you may have, all of those kinds of things around a concept called systems thinking and connectivity. Everything is connected, right, in life and in business and in work and in school. The smallest things can impact other things. And that's kind of what the simulation ultimately illustrates, okay? But the point here in this class is that it's about going on a journey, going on a ride, and the ride is CAPSIM, okay? Is CAPSIM what you're supposed to learn? Not specifically, right? It's about articulating your experience in what you go through. Trying to step into a leadership role in a business about which you know nothing. Okay. And so that's what makes it exciting, exhilarating, and interesting. All right. If you can imagine, being hired as the CEO of a business that you know nothing about, you would have a lot to do, right? When you take this company over, when you step in that door the first day, you would have a lot to do, a lot to figure out. A lot of people are going to be there doing things, but they're not going to tell you what you need to know from day one. It's going to be very much your task to figure out what you need to know and why you need to know it, right? So this class kind of flips things around quite a bit in terms of the way coursework happens. And it's really all about problem solving. It's also a lot about collaboration, which seems interesting to say in an online class, doesn't it? And it's not a group project per se, right? But it is all about collaboration, and you're in the driving seat. And that's kind of how this course is really largely different. And that leads to a number of things, right? First of all, initially, many times it can be disorienting. All right. And I'm here to tell you that's completely normal. Everyone feels a lot like a fish out of water at first. So don't worry. Most people get their bearings in about the first 3 weeks or so. And that's okay. There's no problem taking the time to sort everything out and get yourself oriented. All right. There is some frustration that kind of happens because the course is flipped around a little differently than usual. It's disorienting, and it can be disconcerting a little bit, and maybe give rise to some concerns and things like that. Now, the curriculum people, they designed this to be a student-driven class, okay? And so that's what it is. It's a student-driven class, but it's flipped around in a way that is disorienting. So if you feel disoriented, then you're on the right path, right? But remember that you have a lot of allies in this journey, and we'll talk more about that kind of in a minute. But the key here is that in doing the simulation, you're going to run into business failure, you're going to run into business success, you're going to be on a roller coaster ride. Things will go up, things will come down. It may not be immediately obvious why, right? So it's up to you to look at what's going on in your business and try to discern why, right? And so that's part of that integration of knowledge that we're looking to develop and identify in this class, right? The other really, really big challenge is you have to give yourself permission to have fun on the ride to get the most out of it, right? You can mangle the business in this class and learn a lot from the process. Your grade isn't based on your success in the business, okay? Your grade is based on your ability to articulate what's going on, what you're observing, what you think might happen if you do this, if you do X or Y or Z, those kinds of things, okay? That is in order to get there, you have to give yourself permission to go on a journey and understand that this course is not about getting the simulation perfect, right? That isn't really the ultimate goal, right? In this course, there are lots of students that I have every term that mangle the business quite nicely, and they get so much out of it in terms of what they realize about what led to that, and maybe what they would do differently in the future. And the value in that is immense. So what are the keys to success? Well, like I said, you give yourself permission to go on that ride, embrace the journey, right? You guys are now in charge of a sensor manufacturing business. So what do you do next? What do you do as the CEO, the walk-in president to turn around this business? You need to get to know the business, right? You've got to immerse yourself in company resources. You need to find and review all of the CAPSIM material that's in the classroom, right? You can even research things related to it online if that's helpful, right? If you were a business leader, you would use every resource you could think of to figure out what is making your company tick. And so that's what you want to do here, right? And you want to remember, too, that you have allies in your corner, okay? First and foremost, you have CAPSIM consultants, right? I've got a phone number listed here, 1-877-477-8787. Right? And they're open from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. East Coast time, all right, Monday through Friday. They expect a lot of phone calls. And these are your expert consultants, okay? And you never go on a journey like this alone, all right? I know some things about CAPSIM, but they know more than I know. Now, there's also the support email there, all right? The other thing, too, is as you go through this course, your classmates, who are really your business community, can be incredibly helpful in discussions, right? In our discussion postings during the week, you can also put general questions in the general questions area, right? If it's something that I can answer in a sensible way, I will answer that. Classmates, you guys can answer that too if it's something you've run into. I may direct you to the consultants at CAPSIM. potentially also, depending on the nature of what you're asking. All right. But the key here is, with respect to your classmates, what are they experiencing? What are they trying? Because you guys are all going to be doing slightly different things, which is going to lead to a very different experience in this journey for each of you. The sort of experience that each of you individually needs in some way. All right. So you're going to work through this simulation in the course of this class, right? As you're working through the simulation, you want to consider things like, how would you describe what's happening to your classmates, right? Or board members or stockholders, and what might you try next? What do you think the next thing is that you might change, right? So those are some things to kind of consider or think about as you work through this journey and try to discern where it is that you are leading this company, right? A couple other success thoughts. All right, there is a link right here in this video, for a getting started video from CapSim. You can check that out. The other thing, remember to update and save your decisions in CapSim, as well as to process each round when you're done. Once we're into the competitive rounds, you'll actually click a button that says advance to round whatever. Okay. The other thing, contact the CapSim consultants regularly, communicate with me about any issues you're having with class, any administrative stuff, all that kind of thing. We can tackle all those challenges between you and I, and the expert consultants at CapSim can help you with any technical questions with respect to the simulation. All right. So certainly, naturally, this content is recorded and it is available in an alternative format on request. So if you want captioning for any reason, or transcription, or any other type of communication service related to this content, you can contact the Disability Resource Center at drc@chnu.edu or 877-591-4723 and select option 4. All right. That said, we're off to the start of an exciting term. I'm going to be very excited to see what happens with your simulations, and definitely ecstatic to observe your insights and your experiences as you work through taking over and turning around your own sensor manufacturing company. All right. Have a great week, a great start to class. Get in touch with me if you need anything by phone, by email. All my contact information is in class. All right. Have a great week.